into your home.
Yeah.
Thanks again. It was definitely a pleasure working with you all, helping you find your first home. So yeah, I just wanted to take a few moments today to just kind of maybe share your experience working with me, and yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. So why don't we start off there?
Okay.
A little bit about where you're from, what you do.
All right. So I grew up in Illinois. I moved here to Modesto in 2006. And after that, I went to college at CSU Stanislaus and at CSU Chico. When I moved back from Chico in 2011, I started working. I still was going to school, and I started working at Haven Women's Center. That's where I currently still work. I've been at Haven for almost 7 years now. And it's been a great experience in serving the community and being able to give back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt?
So my name's Matt. I'm 33 years old. I was born and raised here in Modesto. I've never lived outside of California, but I've lived in various cities like Santa Cruz and San Jose, and even Yosemite National Park for a little while. Right now I'm working at a nonprofit. They run 4 group homes. I'm a social worker and a counselor for one of the homes right now.
Awesome, man. I worked at a group home for a few years too myself.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Quite an interesting experience.
It is.
Yes.
It is. It's something else.
I still got some battle scars from.
Yeah. Well, I worked as a staff first for 2.5 years, and then they promoted me to social worker and counselor. So I don't have to do the hands-on kind of stuff anymore.
Congrats. Yeah, that's good. So you're a banana slug then, huh?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Go banana slugs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
So what prompted you guys to buy a home?
So we got married in October of 2019, and it felt like the natural next step. It felt like marriage and then now homeownership and settle down and start roots. And so I think that was our prompt.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Excellent. So what were maybe some of the challenges you faced prior to homeownership?
So in Modesto, particularly renting, it is so expensive, and I think that was one of the challenging aspects, is that we knew we were basically throwing money away, and if it didn't feel right, like you're paying someone's mortgage or you're paying someone's pocket, and so it wasn't yours. There was no ownership to it. We couldn't paint the walls. We couldn't tear walls down. We couldn't do anything. It was the way we have the property was the way we had to turn it in, and that was one of the challenges for me.
How about you, Matt?
Financially, I would say I'm in a better place. Before her mom helped us, I think we couldn't have bought a house. We could have bought a house without her mom's gift to us, which was
That was really nice.
really nice. Yeah. And I wasn't making as much as I am now, and so there was some financial and debt. We had quite a bit of debt as well. So
how are those challenges impacting you, like personally and maybe as a couple, as a newlywed couple?
For sure, it was stressful. I mean, in the apartment we lived when we got married, it was a house. It wasn't really an apartment, but it was a shared house. So we had people in the back, we had a guy on the side, and so there was no privacy. Like, we could hear everything, and so that was very frustrating. And then, so the lack of space for sure was stressful. Eventually, we do want to start a family, and so it felt like that wasn't the place I wanted to have a child. If that was the place, we are now cat owners, but in the same thing, we couldn't own cats in our apartments or in our house. And then after that, we actually moved in with my mom to help us save money. And so that was also a challenge of the lack of space and privacy. But yeah, that for sure, as a young couple, was one of the biggest challenges for us.
I bet. So when did you have that aha moment, like, all right, we need to buy a home? What would you say, Matt?
You know, I don't know if there was one aha moment for me. Like we said earlier, the natural progression sort of feels more right to me.
Okay.
For me, it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Stuck at home with my mom and my little sister was too much. No, the pandemic really, COVID-19 stopped the world for a lot of people. But for a lot of other people, you still had to continue living. And so for me, being at home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without the ability to go out, without the ability to even go out for work, was really put a pressure on me to say, I need my space. Because sometimes a lot of people in the same house is very emotionally draining. It takes your energy. It's just a lot. And for me, it was just like, I need my space. I need me time. And for 4 or 5 months, I didn't have me time. I didn't know what me time was anymore.
Wow, yeah.
And so for me, that was my aha when I'm like, I need a break from everyone and everything.
I bet, yes. So what did you guys have to do to prepare for home ownership?
Well, save money for one.
For sure.
Get out of debt.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have crazy amount of debt, just a few credit cards, but for sure it was paying those off because we wanted to qualify for the most amount that we could. Plus, we wanted a good interest rate, being that the interest rate was already so low. But thankfully, with the gift that my mom gifted us, we were able to pay off the debt and have a good down payment. But I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand is don't be scared. Just go to someone, go to someone, see where you stand. Because if you don't know, you'll never know what you need to fix. Because that's what we did. We went to someone. They took a look at what we had in debt. They took a look at our credit. They told us what we needed to fix it. We fixed it. A few months later, my credit score jumped up like 50, 60 points.
Love it. Awesome.
Just by doing what I needed to do to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are scared of. They're scared to look at their credit score. They're scared to look at how much they owe. But once we looked at it, I'm like, oh, I don't know that much. I thought it was more. Student debt is for sure our biggest part, but we're on a program to pay back, and that's what they counted. And people don't realize that there's a lot of ways to home ownership.
Absolutely, it's a lot. It's a lot more simple than what people think.
Exactly.
Good for you guys. What refresh my memory? How do we connect?
We connect.
I remember.
So we connected thanks to the most amazing person I love and adore, Victoria Carrera. She knows you personally. And
shout out Vicky.
Yeah, shout out to Vicky. And when we were looking for a realtor, we reached out to a couple. We reached out to a few. So it wasn't like we went, but when it came down to everyone just kept not dodging us, but just they weren't responsive as much as we wanted them to be responsive. And so when I reached out to Vicky, I'm like, look, you always hook it up. I mean, I trust Vicky with everything. And so I knew that she would recommend someone that she trusted wholly. And right away, oh, Ricardo's your guy. And I'm like, okay.
She's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, we called you and she was right. The connection was immediately. It was great. It was just positive stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I guess my last question, how has home ownership changed your life?
Boy.
I now have 2 cats. That's changed my life. My mom hated cats, so I could never have a cat at her house. Living in an apartment, I couldn't have a cat.
What are
now
the
I have
names?
2.
What are your cats' names?
Gandalf and Eddie Lynn.
Nice.
Yeah, no. But on the positive, it's also changed. Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
Privacy for one.
Privacy.
Much more spacious than we've ever had. And it's the nicest home we've ever had.
We really did get everything we wanted. We were looking at new homes, but they weren't in Modesto. And I remember Matt was like, I don't want to live outside of Modesto. I'm like, oh, I want a new home. And I think that's when we found this house, it was perfect because it was a flipped house. Everything was brand new.
I think the stars aligned that day. Huh?
Yeah.
We all walked in here like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We did. We walked
You even
in.
knew the owner. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it just was perfect.
Yeah.
It was. It was smooth sailing. I remember, and that's exactly what Vicky told me. She said, you know, Crystal, if everything works out in a smooth way, it's meant for you. And she was right. I mean, I remember walking through those doors, and I remember just the feeling of, this is home. This is it. This is gonna be our place.
It was super authentic. Like we all walked in here like, okay, this is the spot. This is exactly what you guys told me you're looking for.
Exactly. The space, everything.
Yes.
So for sure, homeownership is just so. It's worth it. I will say it. You know, growing up, I always heard people say it's an investment. It's an investment, and I never really understood the grasp of it. When I was younger, it was all about spending money on trips, buying the nice things, not saving money for investments. Now that we have our home, and I know that if anything were to ever happen, we have a good cushion already of equity on the home. And especially because the houses are still going up.
Yes.
So I'm assuming our house is worth more than what we bought it for.
It is.
So I think stability, knowing that this is ours, and it's a whole different ballpark, and it's a great feeling for sure.
And if I might add, you guys have a really cool dishwasher too.
Yes.
I love the dishwasher. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you for again welcoming me back into your home. Looks beautiful. And I'm sure we're gonna stay in touch, right?
Yeah. No. Thank you.
Thanks, Ricardo.
Guys, appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Yep.